Guys, today we're going to bring out a light that really impressed me. This is the Weltool. It's the T1 Pro. It's nicknamed Little Duke. And guys, this is a AA battery flashlight that gets 540 lumens, but a 290 meter beam distance out of this little tiny light. And I was at Blade Show in Atlanta, and I was walking through. Of course, knives are everywhere. But I stopped by the Going Gear booth, and they were very excited about this light. And they gave me a couple of these and said, hey, check these out. These are pretty impressive. I'll tell you guys, these are very impressive. One thing about AA is it's just so easy to use, so common, but it uses the 14500 rechargeable battery, which really gives it the power, but you still have that backup for the AA. Now, Going Gear offers these two as exclusive colors for the T1 Pro. It has the OD green and also the FDE, but it comes in black, and you can get black in a number of places. But they just handed these to me, said, hey, check them out. I think you'll be impressed, and I was. So we're going to look at a lot of the different little features. Guys, light is your #1 security tool. It's something that suits you on an everyday basis. I think you ought to take a look at the Weltool T1 Pro Little Duke. It's pretty impressive. Well, the Weltool T1 Pro, also known as Little Duke. Now, again, I had never heard of Weltool, and they've been around since 2016. And there's a number of different lights. This is really an EDC light, very small. It uses AA batteries, but it's the 14500 rechargeable battery. There are some properties with this battery and some of the electronics in this light that make it a high performer for a very small AA light. It's up to 540 lumens, and it goes down to 86 lumens on the lowest setting. With the 540, and you just go ahead and hit the light with turbo, with tactical, it'll instantly go to that brightest setting, and it is bright. You'll notice that really intense hotspot, and that is something we're going to really look at when we go outside, because this is a thrower. I mean, it really puts it out there to 290 meters. Now you see this deep reflector, it's smooth, and then we have a stainless steel bezel, and then of course an aluminum body with a hard anodized finish. And again, these two colors are only available through Going Gear, and they do make the black version as well. And on that 540 lumens, it'll go for 38 minutes, which is pretty impressive. Now, if you want to go down to the low setting, you just click really fast, and there we go. We've got the 68 lumens. This will go for 8 hours and 42 minutes. And then as soon as you hit it back, it goes back to the high lumens. And so really you have that low setting just when you need it, but default it's going to go right back to that high lumen setting, which again makes it an excellent EDC light or a security light. Now it's not really long, but you can get your grip around it, and it's according to the size of your hands where you want that bezel to stick out. But honestly, this is going to ride extremely well in your pocket, which it has a stainless steel pocket clip, and you can actually switch that to the other side. And so we can carry it pocket down, or we can flip it. And of course we can carry it this way, and that way you can put it on the bill of your cap and use it as somewhat of an improvised headlamp. But nice little pocket clip. I think it's going to hold up pretty well. And again, I like the feature where you can move it. Very nice knurling on the body. And of course the checkering here, and then we have a design feature that goes all the way around it. So it's a very grippy light. And with that clip, it gives you just a solid purchase. And here with the green, I mean, this green is intense. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, same thing with the stainless steel bezel and the smooth reflector. Really high quality LED. Again, when we get these outside, I'm going to show you, this is honestly a very surprising light for a AA battery light. Now, with the rechargeables, it's great. You're going to get high performance. But you can also go with your standard AA batteries. You're going to get a little less performance, but you can use this, and these are so plentiful and common. I really like to have the AA option. But one of the things about the battery, and we're going to go ahead and take this battery out because this is one of the key parts of this light. Here we have the 14500. This actually has a 3.6 volt output. Now you say, so what? Typical AA batteries or even standard nickel metal hydride batteries have between 1.2 and 1.5 volts. So this is going to allow for this light to utilize that 3.6 volt, and it's going to give it a lot of intensity and again, we're going to check that out. You do have your recharging port right here, which is for your USB-C, which has become extremely common. And so we just drop it in. As far as the electronics, we have brass here, and then you can see we have a brass coil here. Battery goes down in it, and again, charge that up. It does come with a couple of O-rings. As far as the weatherproofing, it is an IP67, which means it's not necessarily submersible, but it is water resistant. And so if he gets a spray of water on here, it's going to be able to defeat it. And it is 1 meter drop distance. Now it's 3 3/4 inches in length. It's about 3/4 inches, a little bit more in width. And then it gets down to a little over 1/2 inch here at the body. But a very small, less than 1 inch diameter. It has a neutral white light. And so that's going to have a nice neutral beam instead of just your cool white, which gives it a little bit of a blue. And so it's going to give it that more of a natural color. There is a extension tube, and it's called the BB7, and you can actually attach it and add an additional 14500 or 2 AA batteries. It's going to give it that longer feel to it, and yet you're going to have more capability. And those are available on the Weltool or the Going Gear website. The tail switch, positive click, off and on. And then if you want to do just half press, you can get the light too for momentary. So it gives you a couple of different options. Now it's a very simple light, and I like that as well. For EDC, I don't like something very complicated. If I have some lights that I have sitting around that I like to fiddle with, that's one thing. But honestly, I like the simplicity. Also, it's 2.24 ounces with the battery, so it's very light in your pocket. Now, let's demonstrate with just your standard Duracell AA battery. And we're going to get a good feel for what you're going to use this for, maybe in a pinch, if your battery's dead or you just want some extra batteries. And so we're going to go ahead and go to that high setting. Now that's still very intense. Here you can see with the 14500, it is immensely more intense. It's utilizing that 3.6 volts, whereas your standard AA, I mean really when it was by itself, it looked incredibly bright. Bring this in, I mean, fantastic difference. So while you may want to use that AA in a pinch, you're going to really want to go back to that 14500. But now let's try the standard nickel metal hydride battery from Olight. This is a sacrilege, but we're going to do it. So, light, okay, we've got a good light here. Intense, this is better than the AA. But you can see you're still getting that 14500 power that's behind the light. I mean, guys, that is really impressive. And it's rechargeable. Now, one comparable light that I really like is the I5T EOS by Olight. This uses your AA battery. It uses the nickel metal hydride batteries. These are good. We get a 300 lumen setting, and then we have a 60 meter beam distance. And you say, well, this little Weltool, man, it blows it out of the water. But one thing about it is that when we press, the first time we get that low setting. Press it again, we get the 300 lumens. It's more of a diffuse beam, it's more softer, it's a little bit more wider. So, it's going to be a different preference. But honestly, with the Weltool, I mean, you can see for the same size, I mean, that is pretty impressive. Here we have the Olight, and the distance is just not there. But again, it's more diffused. But you do get a spill with the Weltool T1 Pro. One other thing about the I5T EOS is they run about 30 bucks. So you're almost double the price. But one thing I want to say about what you're carrying for EDC, guys, that's what you use every day. It's part of your life. It's what you use. It's just part of who you are. And it's important to get exactly what you want. And if you want that really intense beam, then this is something to go with. If you want something that has a lot of brightness, and yet, it's really for just up close, personal, around your area, this is going to be fine too. But you're going to get a lot more beam distance with the T1 Pro. Now, but the I5T EOS is IPX8, which means that this is submersible up to 2 meters. It is completely waterproof, so that is going to give it the advantage. All right, guys, we have the Weltool T1 Pro and the little Duke. So I'm going to just turn this on. I'm going to tell you guys, that's about 20 yards off, and I want you to look at that beam. It's a nice hot spot, and there is a flood. And so I'm gonna see if we can get the flood, but there's definitely a flood, but there is that really nice hot spot. I'll tell you guys, a lot of AA battery flashlights I've seen, and this is actually pretty impressive. It really gets that beam distance out there. Now here's the low setting, and even that has an intense beam. That's pretty impressive. So you're gonna get a light out there. Again, that's about 20 yards, and it's putting out a really nice light. Then we can go back to it, and we've got the brighter beam. So great for long distance, great for getting a lot of light out there and being able to see. Guys, I'm just impressed. Okay, we're at about 40 yards here. Got that fence line, and I'll tell you guys, it just really lights that up. Again, AA, of course, using that 14500 battery really makes a difference. Even up in the trees. I mean, it's just impressive. All right, guys, we're getting to 100 yards, no problem. I'm seeing everything down along that tree line. That tree's at about 50 yards there. Of course, here we're at about 20 yards. You can see all the way down there to that tree line. It's great. Now, one thing about it is that you're going to get that long distance light, and it's going to be pretty bright. So for small EDC tasks, you're going to really need to get down to that lower lumen setting if you want the light down. And you know, it's a little bit of a trick to hit that 4 times. Maybe I'd like to see it where it's a little easier to get to the lower setting. But overall, this is pretty impressive. Well guys, the Weltool T1 Pro Little Duke. This is exclusively from Going Gear with the green and the FDE color. Of course, the black version is available from different places. Weltool does a ton of different lights. And the price on the T1 Pro is $56 on the Going Gear website. Which you can also get your I5T EOS from Going Gear as well. And there are other lights. But I think the one thing that really stands out with the Weltool T1 Pro is the distance and the brightness. I mean, 540 lumens for a AA battery. That's impressive. So guys, the Weltool T1 Little Duke, definitely in line with royalty. This thing can put out the lumens of 540, and then you have a 290 meter beam distance with a tiny, tiny light that uses AA batteries. Very impressive, great for EDC. And again, the FDE and the green are only available at Going Gear. And so check out goinggear.com, great resource. And I really appreciate the guys at Going Gear for introducing me to Weltool. I think we may be seeing some other interesting things coming out from those guys. Guys, when it comes to fire, it is essential to survival, and having a good fire kit and knowing how to use it is vital for survival situations. And Exotac makes the best fire starters on the market. Made in the USA, down in Winder, Georgia, using really high-grade aluminum, they machine some really beautiful handles, a lot of different features, replaceable ferro rods, and a number of other different fire starting tools. You get 20% off using Sootch 20 with the link down below in the description. And a big thank you to Exotac for sponsoring today's video. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. And we're just going to get some shots. Oh, shoot. Get a shot of that. And a big thank you to the guys at Going Gear for, and again, good gosh. Hit it again, and we go to the high lumen setting. And I don't remember what this was. But it's been a while since I've done anything with Going Gear and just happened to stumble. Okay, I don't want to go into that. Now, it's a AA battery, but yet it gets 540 lumens. It's very impressive. Maybe a light. I'm going to start this over because I can't do it.